Cool. Okay. So let's start by introducing yourself. And then if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about moving analytics.
Yeah. So I'm Harsh Vathsangam, the CEO of Moving Analytics. Prior to starting the company, my background was in computer science, where I did a PhD. And a lot of my work was in basically using machine learning and AI to sense physiological signals of the human body and develop models of the human body based on sense data. At Moving Analytics, the idea behind our business is that we provide a fully supportive home care system or process after someone gets a heart attack. And we do this through an app, devices that we mail to you, and tailored home coaching that we provide for you once we identify you as a potential patient in our program as well. So yeah. Mhm.
Awesome. And so is that what is called Move-In? Is that the app?
Yeah, so Move-In is I would say like a service that's available to you as a potential patient with heart disease.
Mhm.
And basically the problem we're solving is one of access, where essentially if we didn't exist, 90% of patients don't have access to care for their programs. And as a result, and that's purely because in order to get access to a rehab program, you would have to visit a facility. And often facilities are 1 hour away, and you got to drive to and back, and then you got to find parking, and then you have to spend like 30 minutes in waiting, and then get there and do it. So it takes a whole morning or a whole afternoon. And so what we've done is we've taken that entire process and we've just said, hey, you stay at home, we'll bring rehab to you and make sure that it's available to you as you're proceeding. So that's how we're trying to make it more convenient and accessible as well.
That is awesome. I love that. Yeah, access to like quality healthcare is like a huge deal, and I feel like it greatly impacts people's qualities of life. So that's awesome. That's such a good service you guys are providing to folks, and
Thank you.
definitely very needed.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, so I did see that earlier this year you guys became exclusive like industry partners in specifically in the arena of virtual cardiac rehabilitation
Yeah.
with MedAxiom, which is like
Mhm.
a pretty big deal. They're the nation's leading cardiovascular healthcare membership organization. So that's super exciting. And I kind of want to know from you, what else are you celebrating from the past year of life and business? You can talk more about that, or if there's other stuff too.
Sure. I think this year has definitely been a tough year for the entire nation. So, we're kind of taking each day or week as it comes and trying to do our best. I think, yeah, definitely signing that partnership was a great foray for us in terms of how we can expand the applicability of our approach. And through MedAxiom, we're actually working with them to basically talk about our solution in webinars and showcase our customers to the broader community with the idea of promoting awareness and then also potentially getting more patients into our system as well if there's a similar benefit that we can provide. So separate from Adaxium, I think, uh, you know, like many businesses, we've been forced to adapt to a new post-COVID world. And as part of that world, I think both externally, we've had to make our program 100% remote. Prior to 2020, there was still a slight in-person component where you had to come in and get an assessment. We've actually worked with our partners to make sure that assessment can also be done at home. And then, so basically right now, if you're identified as a patient, you want to participate, you don't have to move like half a foot from outside your house to get access to rehab from us. So that's been a great sort of innovation that's been forced upon us, but I'm glad we went through that process as well. And internally, of course, like a lot of businesses, we're looking to leverage remote working and remote home-based working. And I think we are always looking to see how we can maintain our company culture while also trying to make sure we keep people safe and also secure during this time of COVID, I'd say.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the same thing over here with us. Like Acuity, we're trying to do a lot just of like internal engagement to try to get folks feeling more connected during this time when, we're not getting to see each other in person at the office. We don't have an office at the moment, although we did before kind of the impact of COVID. And So yeah, I'm part of a group where a lot of what we're trying to do is kind of help people connect and just, you know, relate to each other outside of work on different activities. I think a lot of people have picked up new activities and hobbies and stuff while they've been at home and had maybe a little bit of extra time. So that's
Mhm.
been pretty cool to see. Um, and that is a good segue into my next question, just because I'm curious to know, of course, with the daily impact of COVID, that's, you know, we all know that's very much changing the way
Yeah.
that we go about business and personal life. So do you have any thoughts on the potential applying move-in technology or moving analytics technology to other medical situations?
Um, yeah, I think that there's a tremendous potential in
Mhm.
expanding the applicability of Movin beyond just the original, our core program, which is in post-acute cardiac care.
Right.
Definitely see applications, first of all, in peripheral artery disease, which is basically disease. It's a condition for everything except your heart, so all your blood vessels.
Right.
Another one is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which is basically your lungs and what happens there.
Hmm.
You know, 1 out of every 3 Americans has hypertension, right? And they all and we have a growing population, 5 million patients, and 500,000 every year being added of heart
Hmm.
failure patients as well. But the common thesis behind all these approaches is um, we have a evidence-based therapy that can help you build the lifestyle behaviors that you need in order to live long, but also live healthy while you're living long. And we also want to make sure that it's convenient for you at home and care and that's care that you want when you want it. We strongly believe that that's the way healthcare is proceeding, and we want to be a part of that wave. I think, barring emergencies or very serious conditions, very few people are wanting to go to clinics or hospitals nowadays. They just want to stay
Hmm.
like I get my movies at home, I get my pizza at home. Why shouldn't I get my my healthcare at home too, and at
Exactly.
low cost, right? So as I think we think that that's how it's going to go, and we want to be part of that and build value over there, let's say.
Yeah, I think that is definitely spot on. Just coming from someone like me, I'm very much taking COVID seriously. Like, I don't really leave my house.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like going out to see folks and stuff. And it's been tough adapting to essentially being in my house all of the
Mhm.
time. Um, and that kind of gave me, like, I was thinking, you know, I have a feeling that we'll probably see new health trends that emerge
Mhm.
from folks who have had to adapt to really, I don't know if it's a more sedentary lifestyle or not, but like before, maybe you'd be going to your car and commuting to work and walking to the office. And now it's like, you know, it could be straight from your bed to your home office.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so, you know, and a lot of those changes, of course, they're necessary lifestyle changes to keep people safe.
Yeah.
But do you think that will eventually have an impact on people's like physical activity and overall health in the long term? And is that something you think that moving analytics could potentially, like, you know, in the future help folks with? It's just like adapting to a healthier lifestyle at home.
That's a great question. I think uh, the implications of COVID in our long-term lifestyle, I think definitely there remain to be seen, but we're starting to see some
Right.
early trends. The early trends, I think, what we're seeing is that being at home can be quite lonely. It can be very what do you say, disheartening, especially if you're not allowed to interact with friends and family, which yeah, a lot of people may not have necessarily, right? So I think what would be an interesting way to tackle that is how can we promote local communities more and maybe you can bubble not just by yourself, but you and 5 other people in your neighborhood and community, form a bubble, and you all can kind of move together and everywhere. And that can sort of be your social circle, immediate social circle. And then at some point, I'm sure with the vaccine, we'll be also able to travel a bit more, and have like stay in touch with our friends and family from across the country or across the planet and so on.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I think the value right now is how can we, where I think moving can help us. You can't move that far from your home, but there's still a lot of lifestyle changes and positive lifestyle changes that you can do. For example, assuming it's warm enough, you can walk outside your home and your neighborhood and explore that neighborhood. Or you could do exercise videos at home that are applicable to you. Or you can start experimenting a little bit with new foods that you might not have had time to experiment with that might be healthier. And I think in every crisis, there is an opportunity that you can tap into. And so uh, we,
Absolutely.
we believe that as our coaches can actually help our patients still see the silver lining behind the cloud, and how can, and then use that to essentially continue to improve their lifestyle. I think that's what we're looking to continue to build on as well.
That is awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely agree. And I think there's just like so much potential there. Um, yeah, just healthcare, like a lot of people don't have access to it. So having like the access to that like straight from your home, with technology that's readily available, I think is amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
so yeah. Now, as moving analytics success obviously continues to grow and your product is gaining public awareness, especially through your partnership with MedAxiom, um, I'm sure something that's very important to you is trust in your finances. So
Yeah.
while you're empowering your users with the incredible product that you've built,
Yeah.
Acuity has been taking care of the back end financials and stuff for you, everything that's required to kind of keep your business running smoothly.
Hmm.
I believe at the moment that's including you're working with one of our bookkeepers to do monthly bookkeeping and bill pay services. And then you've also have a relationship with one of our controllers and a CFO.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I'm curious to know what kind of impact do you think that those services have had on your business?
Yeah. So we've been with Acuity for
I think for
almost
four.
4 years now, and
Yeah.
next year will be our 5th year, so half a decade. So getting there.
Yeah.
And we started off with basic bookkeeping, and we've been gradually adding on more services. As we've grown as a company, just the quantity and the complexity of our transactions has had to increase. And I think Acuity has been with us from when we were essentially operating like a cash box, to now we're like a much more sophisticated financial back office that we have. It's helped me in several ways. Number one, it's taken time off my plate that I would otherwise spend in, for me, that would be like fairly, daily tasks to focus on the business, focus on talking to customers and finding folks. I think it's really helped me and present to investors better, because we have really strong, like very well done financials that are kind of above their class in terms of the detail, but also the accuracy and so on. And then I think, also helped me sleep a little better at night, because, for example, through our financial planning, I'm able to forecast when our zero cash date is, or when, or what kind of working capital do we need in order to grow our business. And more or less, it's produced a lot of predictability. So when I know that I need so much working capital, like I'm within 10-15% of what we actually estimate. So that's been great for us, and hopefully it'll keep increasing as well. So
Yeah.
I think Acuity has been great in terms of providing that full stack solution, and you guys do a really good job of making your service addictive as well. So it's been great to work with you, I would say. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yay. Well, thank you. I love that kind feedback and it's great to hear that. Wrapping up, this is my last question. I always just like to kind of end on a funny note, sort
Yeah.
of. I just like to ask, what is one word that comes to mind when you think acuity?
Ooh, I gotta think a little bit about this. I would say, Uh, stress reducing. That would be a
That
good
counts. Yes, that counts as one word.
with a hyphen there in between. So
Right.
uh,
Yes.
um,
Awesome.
a partner is also a good one, I would say. That's a good one
I
for me.
love those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me and have this quick little interview and share about moving analytics and all of the amazing stuff that you guys are up to. I'm really excited to see where things are headed in the future. And as you guys can continue to grow, we're just really big believers in your success and your future. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for being a part of this journey. And we'll keep growing with, and you'll help us keep growing as well. So look forward.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, have a great rest of your day, and I hope you have a good weekend.
You too. You take care, Kai. All right.
Awesome. Thanks. You too. Bye.